Welcome to FPL Selection. Today we will see how the team is shaping up for Game Week 37, but first a quick look at how we got on in Game Week 36. So a total score of 54 minus 4 meant another drop to around 11,000. Did bring in Haaland in the end from minus 4 and captained him, and yeah, even though he got the 90 minutes, obviously didn't get any returns, so another gamble that hasn't paid off, unfortunately. I did bring in Boomer alongside him though, so I did get something out of it, and I actually gained 2 points taking out Isak and Salah, so yeah, every cloud I suppose. Best performers of the week were Boomer with 6 points, just the assist there against Ipswich. Watkins got 9 points with his goal. So obviously glad to get something out of him early, because I think he's going to be very popular transferring this week. And then Eze coming in with 16 points. It's back-to-back double figure returns for him now. Yeah, basically saving my season really, because yeah, I think I'd be, well, I don't think, I know I'd be much worse off if I didn't end up keeping him. So yeah, probably the only decent decision I've made for probably 10 weeks now is keeping him. So let's move on, and now let's look ahead to Game Week 37. So I've got no plans to make any transfers this week. I think I've made a lot of moves recently, and yeah, it's no point forcing it when you've got a decent team. I think I'm pretty happy with the 11, and certainly don't want to move a few of the players on because they've got good fixtures in the final week. So I think I'm just going to leave it as is, and yeah, leave myself with 2 free transfers going into the final week. So in the defence then, we've got Sells away to West Ham. Obviously very disappointed that Forest couldn't keep a clean sheet against Leicester last time out. So West Ham are not, the most free scoring team, so I'm hoping there might be a chance here of a double clean sheet again. Forest, but obviously they're trying to chase Champions League football and they need the wins, so again they might be a little bit more open, and I'm not sure if Murillo's going to be back either, so I think it's still a better fixture than Arsenal away for Pope, so yeah, let's stick with Sells again this week. And Kirkez is away to City. Now obviously normally away at City is obviously a very tricky fixture, so never expecting a clean sheet there. But I think with City having the cup final on Saturday, could be interesting. They might be fairly tired going into that Tuesday game, especially against a Bournemouth team that's obviously high energy and like to press hard. So yeah, it could be some attacking returns there for Kirkez. And yeah, I think City could be there for the taking, to be honest. And Williams is away to West Ham. So as I mentioned earlier, it's obviously got the double up here in Forest. West Ham away, a decent fixture I think for a defensive player, but I think with Forest obviously trying to push and get the wins, maybe they're not going to be quite so solid now, so yeah, it seemed like a good decision back on the wild card to have him here for this, but probably, back in the better defences would have made more sense rather than, expecting Forest to go all the way through the season and continue to keep up the clean sheets. So he's in there now, and that's what we've got. So yeah, I'm just going to stick with it through to the end, and hopefully we'll get 1 or 2 more clean sheets. Munoz is at home to Wolves. He had a brilliant return last week with the 11 points. So yeah, I was very happy with him. Again, really, really attacking. I know they're only up against Spurs and basically Spurs' second team, but yeah, it's just, that's why I brought him in, was just attacking returns really, and yeah, he's really basically a winger for them. So yeah, he's been a brilliant buy for me for probably what's been a disastrous last third of the season really. So moving on to the midfield, and we've got Mbumo is at home to Fulham. Obviously a bit disappointing to only get the assist against Ipswich last time, but Mbumo is that sort of player that you can get a big score in any game. So home game, Fulham, not really that much to play for now. I don't think they've got much chance of reaching a European spot. So Brentford obviously chasing hard for it. Yeah, it could be a nice game for Mbeumo there. Not expecting a lot, but yeah, it's good to have him in there now anyway. I'm glad I took the hit last week and he was part of that. So yeah, he'll probably stick until the end now for me. Then Eze is at home to Wolves. As I said earlier, obviously saved my season really with the last couple of scores he's had. He's just been brilliant since he got himself fit a few weeks back, and yeah, he's one of them players that he can score in any game. So I think Wolves at home is a nice fixture, and yeah, they've obviously got the cup game on Saturday, so it'll be interesting to see how they fare after that. But yeah, always expecting something from Eze. Like I said, it could be any game that he can pull something out of the hat. So yeah, very happy to have him for the rest of the season. And Kluivert is away to City. Now, there's a bit of a tricky choice here between him and Murphy away at Arsenal this week. Murphy's obviously in much better form at the moment. But I do think the City defence is one that they can get at, especially if they're going to be leggy after the cup final. And Kluivert is definitely due. He's not had a return for quite a few weeks now, and yeah, I think he's the sort of player that he always puts himself in the right positions to get something. So I really do think Bournemouth can get a nice win against City. I think, especially with the high press game, and Kluivert's usually thereabouts in the right spots. So yeah, quite optimistic there on Kluivert, and I think he's going to come in ahead of Murphy this week. And Palmer's at home to United, and United obviously focusing on the Europa League final. So it will be interesting to see if they do play the first team, if they have a slightly rotated 11, or whether they go completely rest everybody. But I'd like to think they're going to play a relatively strong team, try and get some rhythm, get some game time for everybody before the final. But as we've seen with United for months now, the league just doesn't mean anything. So I'm expecting another poor performance, and you'd like to think Palmer's going to get plenty of chances in the game. And Chelsea obviously desperate for the Champions League. They need this win, so I'd be very surprised if anything other than a Chelsea win. And you've got to see Palmer getting something if Chelsea do get a win. So probably going to be my vice captain this week. I think that's probably one of the nicer fixtures on the list this week. So yeah, I got the vice captaincy on Palmer at the minute. I think he's due a haul before the end of the season. I think he's going to get one. So yeah, he's going nowhere for me. Now moving on to the strikers. Haaland is at home to Bournemouth. Now it's going to be, I'm not sure whether he's going to play from the start in this one. He starts the cup final on Saturday. He's obviously not long back from injury. They've only got 2 rest days until the game on Tuesday, so difficult to say. Maybe get an hour in the cup final, maybe it'll be all done and sealed, and you can, take him off and rest him ready for that game. But City, they have been decent without Haaland. They have been picking up the results, so there's no reason why he couldn't be benched for that one. And got to start him though. I brought him in, I've got to start him. But yeah, I just don't think I can captain him this week with the uncertainty. But just hoping he can get a couple of chances in that game if he does get some minutes, because really didn't get any good chances against Southampton, apart from the one that he decided to cross instead of go for a shot. And it's probably in hindsight, again, something to learn for next season, I think, is don't bring in players that have just come back from injury, even if it is Erling Haaland. You usually need time to get up to speed. So one to think about for next year. Cunha is away to Palace. Obviously very disappointed last week with the 0 points and coming off just before the hour. But he's that type of player that, when he does turn it on and he does play, he can be unstoppable. And yeah, so I think I've just got to keep him for the rest of the season, and don't think it's worth, you know, moving him out, because he could haul in any game, and especially with Palace having the cup final, might be a chance for Wolves here to pick up the win. And you know, if Palace are tired, it's potential there for a few chances for Cunha to pick up some points. So yeah, he stays in there for me. And then Watkins is at home to Spurs. I think that's probably the standout fixture this week for attackers. Spurs also obviously waiting for the Europa League final and got a few injuries, and I just don't think they're going to risk anything in this league game. So Villa obviously chasing the Champions League. You know, they're going to play their strongest 11. They're going to go all out for the win. Home game. Watkins got a nice goal last week. Yeah, I just think he's the one to captain this week, and glad I already got him in. And yeah, I think it'd be silly not to captain him. So yeah, don't think I'm going to change that, but yeah, should be plenty of chances for him anyway, at least in that game. So just to summarise then, as I said, Watkins captain I think really makes sense this week, and that's why I brought him in really a couple of weeks ago, was ready for this fixture. Palmer's vice captain for now. Yeah, I could consider a differential there and maybe captain him, but never like to back against Man United, so yeah, I think I'll probably stick with Watkins. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.